I'm just going to bring everybody up on my screen so I can see them. There we go. Awesome. I'm just sitting on the floor in Steven's parents' basement. Okay, guys, so this is awesome. Thanks for having me on your call, by the way. Maria asked me to talk about the coaching opportunity, kind of like how to kind of become an expert in that area. And I was excited to talk about this topic because I sucked at it really, really bad at the start. And didn't do a whole lot of it. So before we get started, I thought it'd be cool if maybe in the chat, if you guys could just put maybe like your top concern when it comes to sharing about the coaching opportunity, like what maybe holds you back from doing, you know, what holds you back from having coaches join your team, basically. Like one thing in the chat. It doesn't have to be like super long-winded, but like when Marie talks about like, let's build our teams, let's invite to coaching, like what's the one thing that worry that pops up into your head, or fear, or what, anything that really holds you back or that you think holds you back?
Oh. Can you guys hear that too? Who's playing the pan flute? It must be Morg's computer. Morg, is that you, or are you back?
Yeah, was I frozen?
You were like playing the pan flute. That's what it sounded like. It was awesome.
I'm telling you guys, like these computers right now.
We're having a time. Okay, I don't know if maybe it's mine. Okay, you guys, I was going to write in the chat, but you guys write your, whatever they are. Like, it doesn't matter what your concern is. Nothing is too small or too big. Oh, yes, you want to be, can you go on the, oh, here, I'll just unmute you. Go for it, Logie.
I'm just on my iPad, so I don't have the chat thing. But the biggest thing that holds me back is sending messages to my cold market. So sending messages to like new people that I added to my Facebook, or sending messages to people that don't know who I am, or like sending that first, like the first message.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. And somebody else said sending messages for whatever reason. That's what stops me. Okay. So basically you guys can type as you go. People who won't look up to me as a leader since I haven't been a coach for too long. Okay. Awesome. Good one. So you guys can keep typing, but I basically wanted to take you through kind of my journey, and then I'll bring up basically what I message people right now so that you kind of have like something to go off of anyways, right? So when I signed up, I could sell a challenge pack like a mother, like no issues, because fitness was my passion, right? And I honestly, it took me a little bit over a year to become a diamond coach. Because like I said, I could sell a challenge pack, but I never talked about the coaching opportunity like ever. It took me a solid year to like start to get into it. So don't feel bad if it takes you a little bit of time. But once I kind of switched my mindset to think of it as it's the exact same thing as finding challengers, like things started to click. Because I built up all this anxiety about it. And then when I thought about it, I'm like, wait, like I'm not asking them to sign up for a bad thing. Like,
oh, you're frozen. Technological problems.
like, what am I so freaky? Was I frozen?
Yeah.
Frozen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Still?
Nope, now you're good. You were saying, what was I so freaked out, I think, about? Maybe you're going to.
Give me 1 sec.
Internet stuff.
Think upstairs would be better. Yeah, I guess it could. Is it over in the computer room? Oh, right here. Okay. It should be fine if I sit in the computer room then too, hey? Yeah? Okay. Okay, how's this? Am I clear?
Yes.
Okay, super. Okay, where did I leave off, Marie?
You were freaked out about it and
Oh, okay, yeah. So I was getting like super nervous, freaked out to sign them up until I switched my mindset and was like, hey, I'm signing them up for a super good thing, right? Like, why am I insanely nervous? So like it didn't make, like, does that make sense to you guys? Like, you're like super nervous, but yet you're not signing them up for something bad. So once that clicked, it got easier and easier for me. And and now I left my other computer down there. So basically I went in waves. So when I first started, like I said, I had no problem getting challengers, and then I would convert them to coaches and they turn into great coaches. But this past year, I don't know, like I got pulled away a little bit and I started recruiting coaches completely cold market, and it got really awkward again because I didn't know how to share about the opportunity, like just to a cold market person. And not to say that you can't be that person, because I was, but it got awkward again. And I got super nervous to recruit for coaching. And the ones that I did recruit weren't that great. So just recently, again, I went back to that vital process. You guys have probably seen it, challenger, help them get results, then they become a coach, then they can help their own challengers. And once I got back to that, these past 2 months, I've signed up coaches like butter. It's so easy because it just naturally happens. So I kind of wanted to go
you're frozen once more.
over the message.
The internet will be our friend. We just have to be patient.
I don't know what's going on. It's frozen again?
It was just for a bit. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm gonna
The internet's out to get you right now.
I don't know. Do you have the phone number to dial in?
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay. See if you have battery on your phone.
Sorry, girls.
Okay, I'll just call them. Okay, can you just post it in the comments of this chat?
Yeah.
And then we'll be good, no problems.
Sure. Yeah, no worries at all. It happens. I was talking on Ginny and Kirsten's coaching and coffee call, and my computer was having a heyday.
Mine's their own sometimes. But yeah, if you just copy the invitation, the phone number should be there.
Okay. Oh, I wonder if that wasn't the last thing that I...
You sent it to me on messages. I just don't have it. Right?
No, that's not that's a group. Never mind. I thought that was the last thing That's our Mary Fitness group. And, here.
I'll still keep this up though, so because I can see your guys' like questions coming through and comments coming through.
Okay. All right. There we go.
Okay, there it is. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
408. I don't think it matters. 408 638 0968. Okay, I'll just enter the meeting ID and then I should be good. 785-290.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, give me 1 sec.
Okay.
All right, sorry, team. Oh, I gotta mute myself on the computer. Okay, we're good, Marie?
Yep, all good.
Okay, sorry about that, you guys. I feel bad. Okay, so now I can show you my notes, though, because I'm back down on the computer. So I wanted to show you, or I'll talk through it, basically what I send now. And it's super simple. Like, to me, I'm like, I work myself up so much about the coaching opportunity, and it's really not worth it, because when it comes down to it, it's super simple. So I want to tell you what I send right now, and then I'll tell you like what I do kind of social media wise to attract people. So once I've got my like 100% focus is mainly on challengers. Like, that's where it starts first and foremost. So, you know, that starts with you sharing your journey. That starts with you getting those challengers. And that starts with you making sure your challenge groups are awesome. And I know, sometimes you're like, well, what? Nobody's commenting, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. You need to show up and you need to talk to ghosts if that's what it takes. That's what I did in my team page for 2 whole years. I showed up. I had high energy. It doesn't matter, because the people are still watching it. And maybe even if those challengers engaged in this group, they're going to want to join next group. They're going to apologize to you that they weren't super involved. I got to get in that next group. Like, your job is to keep that energy high in that group no matter what, okay? So in my groups, I've got a couple posts that kind of prompt coaching, things like, you know, reach out to somebody on social media and, you know, share some love. I'm sure Marie's got things like that in her groups too. But I wanted to read off to you the weekly messages that I send out that basically ask them to coach for me. So after week 1, I send a message after week 1, and I send a message after week 2, and I can send these to Marie if you guys want after 2. So after week 1, I send something like this. It's basically just to pump their tires. Like, hey girl, hope you had such a great weekend. I just wanted to send you a quick message to tell you how proud I am of your hard work and dedication to this group. And honestly, just to thank you for taking this leap of faith with me and putting your trust in me. Taking the first step to reach out and start. This is the toughest step for a lot of people, and many of them never make that step. So thank you for trusting me and for trusting your gut that you deserve to be the best version of yourself and live a happy and healthy life. Because when you're happy with yourself, it's so much easier to be happy in every other area of your life. Let's crush week 2. So that's the message I send after week 1. Okay, it's basically just pumping their tires. And I've tried this without personally reaching out to them, just doing the group. And it's okay, but they really appreciate that one-on-one. I think it's key. So I send that after week 1. Then going into week 2, and it depends. So if that person doesn't message me back, like, and they're like non-existent, I'm not going to send them the week 2 message, right? Like, you kind of got to go with it. But if they respond and they're doing really well, I'll send them this second message. So next week on Sunday, I'll say, hey girl, it's me again. I just wanted to say again that I'm so proud of you and appreciate all your hard work and dedication in our challenge group. This is not an easy thing, and to be honest, not everyone finishes, and I know you will. When I see someone that has this push, I know they can take it even further. I know you heard a bit about coaching in our video in the group, especially about getting the discount on Shakeology, but I also wanted to let you know that each month I mentor 10 new ladies to start their own Beachbody business like I did. I hand select a few challengers each month that I know, I know you have what it takes. I like to choose challengers because you are basically doing what I do as a coach already. I look for people who are driven like me, who want to help others, love Beachbody products, want to build an at-home business so they can spend more time with their current family or future family and have more freedom. I'd love for you to join me, but if not, no worries at all. I just wanted to be sure I let you know about it, girl. Keep in mind, though, don't let that doubt creep in that you can do this. If I can do this, you can too. Let me know either way. So it sounds long, but it's actually really short. And that's what I send them after week 2. And then a lot of them say yes, or they'd like to do another challenge group first, whatever. But I do prompt them, like at the end of week 2, I have a post that sort of explains like my love for Shakeology and the discount, even though I try not to push that discount opportunity too much. I rather business building coaches. But those 2 messages basically find my coaches for me out of my challenge groups. And yeah, that's how I convert challengers mostly. And not that all of them join. Lots of them are like, they'll join my sneak peek. I time my sneak peek to usually be taking place right after this second week of my challenge group. And then a lot of them are like, yeah, I'm just going to join another challenge group first and then go from there. But this really plants the seed and gets the conversation going. And then it's a pretty natural conversation after that. Okay, what else? So that's basically, like I said, I can send these. That's basically the challenger side of things. So I hope that makes it a little bit easier for you guys that way. And then for social media, I try, it depends what is going on at the time, but I try my best to, because most people don't sign up to be a coach because of fears, right? So I try and brainstorm, try and read minds of what people are thinking and simply craft posts around that. So, if I've got if people that I'm thinking about getting signed up as a coach, and I know, I try and envision what's going through their head via fears, and I'll post about that. They'll be like, girl, I seen your post. I felt like you were talking to me. It's like, yeah, I kind of was. And that's how I go at it publicly. But like I said, a lot of my coaches aren't so much cold market anymore, or ever were, I guess. I tried, but it didn't really work out that great. But I think I do think the best come from challengers, and that's the vital process that Beachbody talks about, right? Sorry, Marie, I think I can see you. I think you're on now. Yeah, I just wasn't sure. Did any of you guys have questions about what I do there? Like, before not really. Pretty straightforward.
It's good, though. It's good. I do have a question, actually. Do you post your webinar, or is that what you post in like week 2 or whatever, or week 1 or 2?
I do. So after that week 2 video, I kind of, that night I'll go in there and I'll be like, whoa, I had so many people message me about coaching. Instead of sending this to everybody individually, I'll just post it in here. When, let's be honest, there might have been like one person or nobody that messaged me about coaching. But again, I'm responsible for the energy of the group. And I know that a lot of people that are interested might not reach out to me. So I need to do that for them, right? So honestly, like they're probably nervous as heck to message me about coaching. So I'll post that webinar right in there, because then they'll be, and then they can go watch it on their own time. So yeah, I do post my webinar. I highly recommend it. I've used that webinar. My gosh, you guys, like, that's what I send everybody. So I'm sure Marie has one that you can use, or if you make your own, like, it's super handy, or even just using the Beachbody one, but a personal one's always nicer.
You know what's funny is I actually used yours for a long time, like a long time.
Good.
I do not want to make my own right now. So I used yours and was like, just watch my girlfriend, Morgan. She explains it so well. She's like me, but I did make a super unprofessional one in my backyard, and my computer died halfway through, and I still posted it. So I use that. But it's on the to-do list. Need to make a new webinar.
And the thing is, I got that idea. I found one from Melanie Mitro made on her YouTube, and I kind of took the structure of it, like what topics she covered, and then I just made it my own. I know Janelle Summers has really good ones on her YouTube, and I just took the topics and made that my own too, because my worst thing was people, like, if I went to them to be a coach, I needed to explain what coaching was somehow, and I didn't want to type that out all the time. And for me, I don't like to read stuff. I need more of a visual, right? So as soon as somebody's interested in coaching, I'm like, oh, awesome, girl, here's my 30-minute webinar. Like, it's so easy. Same with challenge groups, you guys. I have a video I made of what my challenge group is about, like, what's the requirement? So as soon as they're like, oh, well, I'd like more info about your challenge group. Okay, great, here's my video. And just like we hear so often, relationships are built faster with video. It's like they know me right away. They can see my passion because my face is right there, right? I think it just is so much more effective than typing out what the details are. Like, if that makes sense. Like, I think it's worth it for sure. So I've got a video for my challenge group that I send as my details, and then I have my coaching webinar, and it's so easy. And then I just go into, of course, the steps after that, right? but that's how I get them the information. I'm just looking at my notes, what else I wanted to cover.
Mm-hmm.
I covered that. I like when I look back, because I like to talk from like my personal experience too about the coaching opportunity and talking about it before you feel ready. Like, I think when I was a newer coach, it was actually easier to talk about the coaching opportunity and get coaches. Like, the reason I say that is because people, same with the same reason why I tell people when they get scared, oh, I don't have a transformation photo or transformation yet. How can I find challengers? And it's like, to me, more people will be connected with you and relate to you when you're on your journey. Same with coaching. More people are going to relate to $100 paycheck in the beginning than they are to some outlandish amount of money where they don't even think it's real. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think, and not that it's about money, like sharing small things too, like you guys probably seen, or if you didn't last night, I just shared 2 messages that I got back from 2 challengers. And I'm asking challengers to make videos, testimonial videos to share, because the sharing necessarily my income right now doesn't attract people, because they're like, yeah, that's probably not real, first of all. Then they really think it's a scam. So just sharing those small relatable things about coaching that I definitely think that's easier. And you have to try different things. Sure, money's one thing. Friendships are usually what people are looking for. They're looking for a community of support because it's damn hard to find. They're looking for accountability more so for their own journey. They're looking for fun trips. So it's a matter of posting your social media a little bit of those different areas too, to attract different types of people. Because I don't know what attracted you to the business opportunity, but that's often what I think too. I'm like, okay, what post did Marie make or whomever that attracted me, that kind of sparked my curiosity about coaching, right? And then it's like, okay, I'll just post more of that, right? Because it attracted me, so chances are it's going to attract more like-minded people that I want to work with. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true though. Like, I think it's easy to lose sight of it as you go on in your coaching journey too, because we kind of tend to overcomplicate things, but like,
yeah. Okay.
So simple.
That's what I had written down.
Oh, good. Okay.
I have it in a box, actually. I'm like, people overthink it. Duplicating the coaching opportunity. I'm 100% guilty of it. But I think if you just simplify it, like, there's just 2 parts of the business: challengers, coaches. Mm-hmm. And they're both equally important. They're both equally as simple. And I mean, you're passionate about fitness and challenge group. You're a coach. You're passionate about coaching in that too. So it's just making sure you do both parts of that business, and they just mold so closely together, right?
No, it's true. I should add one thing actually while I'm thinking about this, just to what you said about and how like cold market doesn't really work well. I actually tried that for a little while too. Fell flat on my face. That sucked. I did not like
yeah.
Because otherwise they're like, I don't know about Shakeology. I don't do shakes. And I'm like, good, I don't do them either. But different. But what I have been doing is, if I have somebody that's like kind of cold markety, or we have a bunch of mutual friends and we kind of had a little conversation and they haven't yet joined a group, but I want them to coach, I'll invite them to coaching, like a sneak peek or whatever. And if they're interested in that and they check it out, sweet. But sometimes they're like, I don't know if I'm ready, or I don't know if it's for me. And I just say something like, hey, that is so okay. Like, I totally understand your hesitations. If you want, you can just join my fitness community for right now and see what it's all about.
Oh, yes.
So then I tell them, I'm like, there's a 30-day money back guarantee. There's all this stuff. Like, it's a win-win. We're doing this group. Do you want in on just the group? You don't have to commit to coaching. And then you could actually see what I do as a coach. And 9 times out of 10, they're like, oh, actually, that sounds way better. Can I do that? And I'm like, yes. And then 9 times out of 10 after that, they're like, oh, I like coaching. Let's do this. And it's just this, they need to go through the process almost.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. Yes. so glad you mentioned that, because actually a couple of my conversations going on right now are a couple girls that messaged me initially about coaching, but like you said, kind of on the fence-ish. And I've put that out there to them. I'm like, you know what, girl, how about we just do a challenge group together? You can get the new Core to Force program. And then maybe after, December, after our group's over, a new year, we can talk about coaching. And sure, that might put me down a coach for the month, but you know what? It's probably going to make that person more successful in the long run. Because, I mean, lots of people can do it, but signing up as a coach, doing your first challenge group, it's a lot, right? It can be possible. Many of us have done it, but it's a lot. So, and then I think they trust you a lot more, because they're like, oh, she really isn't in it just for, you know what I mean?
Like recruiting numbers or whatever.
Exactly. She's not desperate for just me to be a number and get signed up as a coach. Like, she really cares about me and helping me succeed in my own goals first. Like, it puts off a really good vibe. And the people that get results and get passionate about these products are the ones that stick around long term, right?
It's true. It's so true.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, like I have long-term challenges right now that are like pushing their anniversary is like coming up on my coach anniversary, basically, like a year and a half or whatever they've been a challenger. And they eventually want to coach or have been a discount coach for months and have it in their sights to eventually do it. But I found that you just have to let people do their thing and just support them at wherever they're at. Like that's just, you can never put an agenda. You just say, hey, I'm here for you. What do you need? Let's hit whatever goal you got together.
Exactly. And honestly, that takes the stress off of you so much, because like you just help them with whatever they need help with, right? And I'll mention one more thing before we run out of time too, is I know, like, for myself, Diamond was a big thing in my business at the start that I wanted to achieve. Like, I just felt like after I got that, I was like legit for some reason. So that was a time in my business where I did push a little bit more, but not so much that I pushed for recruiting numbers. I pushed myself to like convert my mindset, because I like literally can remember the turning point. I went from like a challenge group person to actually like a leader. Like it is a shift you kind of have to make in your mind and in your business. Like, okay, I'm not just responsible for these challengers anymore. Like, I'm responsible for leading a team, and that's pretty friggin' cool. But you definitely have to put on like two caps once you make that decision. And I do think it's a decision. I think it's like you wake up and you're like, okay, I'm a leader of a challenge group and I'm officially a leader of a team. Like, we got this. And then I think Diamond comes a lot easier that way, because I think like people are attracted to you for a certain reason, right? So they're attracted to you for challenge groups if you're sharing your journey and you're confident in that area. And people are going to be attracted to you as a sponsor coach because you're confident in that area and you love it, right? And there's no reason to not feel confident, because you don't have to do anything on your own. Marie probably has phenomenal coach training and a team page. If not, which I know she does, but there's stuff online. Like with the first 30 in Coach Basics, you guys, it's like a freaking breeze to sign somebody up. And that, again, I sign them up. I'm like, okay, you probably got an email with your first 30. Boom, let's jump on a call. Here's the new coach training. Okay. And then from then on, we just chit chat back and forth. Super simple, like super easy. So I think just like I said, that mindset, just switching it on, that it's chill, it's laid back. And I don't know, like these last couple months, I've just simplified and just everything's been so much smoother and easier,
Like you're enjoying the process now, right? More so?
Yeah, totally. Like I'm not getting that anxiety messaging people, or like having all these programs and templates and everything ready, because you know what? People get in and they get overwhelmed and then they think it's not for them. Like my job is to, your job is to empower them. You guys have been through the coach sign up process before, right? If they're feeling a little uneasy, like voice note, get on there with them, be like, hey girl, not to worry. Let's work through it step by step. Okay, this is your first step here. You know, I think just having that confidence that like, you can do this, you can be a leader. It's total mindset. And it gets so fun because you start to grow a team of girls that you're just like friends with, right?
It's so cool.
Like you guys.
It is. And I know, and like half of the ladies on my team couldn't make it tonight too, but like, it's so cool because it starts with one person. And when you start, you're like,
yeah,
how in the hell am I going to build this into like a community of people that think like me? How does that work? And then you have like 2 people, and then you have like 5, and then 8, and 5 people quit. And you're just like, okay, I'm not really sure if this is going to work, you know, but you just keep tracking, you stay consistent. And then all of a sudden you wake up one day and you're like, holy shit, I have this like group of women who are so badass and so empowered, and they get it. They get they get the vision, like, you know, so it's pretty cool.
And that's totally how it works. Like when I signed up, like little old me, like, no, did I plan this? Hell no. Like had no idea it was going to like work out like this. You just got to start, right? Yeah. Like you'll move a couple steps forward. You'll have a couple people quit. That's okay. You probably didn't want them anyways. Then you get a couple new people. It's just fun, right? So messaging people, I wouldn't stress about it because I would make it super simple and chill. I can send you my things if you want them, just let me know. And honestly, like other than those messages, I don't really script anything. I'll just voice message people super quick back and forth, keep it relaxed. And I put it in their hands, right? I'm like, I don't pressure anybody to be a coach because I want to work with people that are ready. So I put it in their hands, and people really respect that, right? Because there are pushy people out there for other stuff, right? I put it in their hands, and they take the onus on it. Like they feel empowered almost. And I think your results from that will be better too.
So true. All right, we got about 2 minutes and 30 seconds ish. Does anyone have any questions for Morgan before we wrap up here? Quick, the lady of the hour. You have an opportunity to speak with if you wish.
And you're probably like, that bee can't get her technology together for our call.
No, you're not like,
oh, she's so annoying.
And also, I actually should mention before we do run out of time, you are being way too humble. Your team training is freaking amazing. Like when I first made my Google Docs one, I totally modeled it off of yours because I was like, man, this like the setup, just like, you know, because the 30-day trainings are great on Facebook, but so just not very ideal, especially if you only have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 signing up per month. It's hard. But anyways, we have less than a minute. Morgan, thank you so much for hosting us tonight. I really super appreciate it. We all really appreciate it.
Yes. Any questions at all, message me them. I'll voice message you back, whatever. And that whole team training thing just went at a time where I was like, do everything. And now I'm like, do less. But
and I have everything now.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Love
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.